I'm wondering, have you ever heard this statement before or even used this statement before? Goes like this: I need me a me. I'm wondering, have you ever heard that, used that? Because it speaks to the fact that you need encouragement and you wish somebody would be to you what you are to yourself. And that's why today I want to talk about encouraging the encourager. Who is there for you? That's what I want to ask you. Who is there for you? Who is encouraging you because you encourage everybody else? You're a nurturer by nature. Who's nurturing the nurturer? Remember, I asked a series of these questions to a few people, and their only retort was, that's a good question. Because they couldn't think about it. They couldn't think of anybody who was actually being to them what they are to their children, being to them what they are to their spouse, being to them what they are to their significant other. They couldn't really think of anybody who would fill in the gap to encourage them. And the question becomes, who is your source? Or who are your resources of encouragement to where you now are able to fuel yourself? Here's one of those things is I had to learn how to be my own encouragement, be my own encourager. I had to learn how to give my own self encouragement. Because if you're waiting for people to encourage you, sometimes you're going to be waiting for a long time. And here's the thing, sometimes that time may never come. And you have to find a way to where you can alleviate the pain without being self-destructive. You have to find a way to where you can address certain things that are going on in your life without, hear me, moving into a place of self-sabotage. That's why counseling, that's why therapy is so needed, so necessary. It becomes therapeutic for you so that you don't find yourself pouring from an empty cup. You've only got so much energy to give. You've only got so much life to live. You've only got so much resources to be able to share with other people before, here's the thing, you start running on empty. You start running on E before your bank account goes low, before now you don't have the resources to replenish yourself. Scripture says, he anointed my head with oil, my cup runneth over. And a lot of times we believe that we are supposed to just pour from all of our resources, but really we're supposed to pour into others from our outpour. We're supposed to pour into others from the overflow, not necessarily for what's in the cup, because what's in the cup is for you. The overflow is to bless other people with. You got to put on your own mask first before you're trying to help somebody else. Breathe and believe. What are you doing for you to now develop you, nurture you, encourage you? And I had to be my own source of encouragement. Grateful for my mother. Yes, she was a source of encouragement for me. Of course, my faith in God, that was a source of encouragement for me. But going beyond just those particular entities and individuals, I had to now take the onus of being responsible for my own healing, being responsible for my own encouragement, being responsible for my own nurturing and developing and empowering and striving through the cancer situation, what it was that I was going through. What I love and hate about cancer, the only thing that you hate the struggle of it, but I love what the word says. The first three letters in cancer spells can. And here's what you have to do. You have to change the way that you look at things. Because when you change the way that you look at things, the things that you look at change. What are you doing to wear your crown, to develop yourself, to walk in your identity, to move into the place of the purpose? To now here's what I'm saying. Speak life into your own life. You got to say what you see until you see what you say. Because your words create your world. What you speak into the atmosphere will appear. Your future, your funeral is on the tip of your tongue. Death and life is in the power of the tongue. And so many people, they live for the applause of others. And when they don't receive it, they quit. They give up the ghost. They throw in the towel because somebody wouldn't clap. You got to clap for yourself. You have to applaud you. You have to give yourself applause. Come on, celebrate your growth. Celebrate how you made it through this particular storm and how you overcame this particular stumbling block to turn that stumbling block into a stepping stone. What are you doing for you to pour into you? Who is there for you? How are you being the encouragement and the resource for yourself? Because here's what I understand. You can't expect people to do for you what you won't do for yourself. Well, nobody's encouraging me. Well, are you encouraging you? Versus you just complain about what nobody else is doing. What are you going to do for yourself? Here's what scripture said. David said, I will encourage myself in the Lord. And David encouraged himself after he was now dealing with the threats of being stoned. In Ziklag, city was burned down. And the women and the children were taken captive. And scripture talks about how the men began to weep. Now, you know it's bad. You know it's bad when men are not just weeping privately, but they're weeping publicly. And these same men wanted to stone David. And David said, I will encourage myself in the Lord. I believe it's around 1 Samuel chapter 30, if I'm not mistaken. And it moves us to that particular aspect to say, I have to encourage me. Here's what I understand. There are people in your life, and there are people who know you. And a lot of times we're waiting for people to pat us on the back. But you got to be leery of that. You got to be aware of that. You've got to have discernment, because everybody who is patting you on the back is not patting you on the back to encourage you. Some people are patting you on the back just to find the softest spot for where to stab you in the back. That's his soft spot. That's the weak area. And they have negative intent. They have bad intentions for you. But no, you got to take it into your own hands and say, I'm going to pat my own self on the back. I'm going to encourage myself. I'm going to celebrate my own growth and my greatness. Look at what it is that I made it through. Look at where it is that when I could have given up and when I should have given up, I began to tie a knot at the end of my rope, and I held on to hope. And I did not give up, didn't throw in the towel. This is what it's all about. Encouraging the encourager. Who is there for you? Hear me. You got to be there for you. I know it would be great to have 20, 30, 40 people, 50 people, whatever the case may be, who you could lean on. Sadly enough, that's not the case many days. That's not the case most of the time. You can get through life with a good 2, 3, 4 solid people. You've had a very, very good life. You've got very, very good relationships. You've got people that you can lean on, to where they're not just always dumping their problems on you. But here's what they're doing. They're encouraging you through what it is that they go through. They know how to speak life to a dead, comatose, despondent situation and tell you to keep on keeping on. Who are those individuals who are in your life that you can celebrate? Is it a mother? Is it a father? Is it a grandfather? Is it an aunt? Is it an uncle? Is it a principal like I had? Is it a colleague from work? Is it someone who now stood up and stepped in when it just looked very, very bleak? Here's the thing. Is the encourager someone who, to a certain degree, you wouldn't even think that you would get support from. That it was kind of a blindsided encouragement. You didn't see them, they didn't see you necessarily, but God orchestrated to where you both connected. You got to celebrate that. You've got to speak life into your own life. You have to, hear me, stop and smell the roses sometimes. And as you stop and smell the roses, you ought to breathe and believe. You ought to celebrate your growth. You ought to celebrate how you made it through toxic relationships and how you overcame that. You ought to celebrate how you're not in the hands of a narcissistic person or a gaslighter. You ought to celebrate it, how you grew through what you went through and how you look better coming out than you went in. How you look better coming out than you were in the middle of the situation. These are the things that you can't necessarily put a price on. This is what separates the boys from the men, the girls from the women. Because now you have grown, you have developed, you have matured into the greater person that is an encourager. Because you encourage yourself. And hear me, you know how to be an encourager to others and meet them at their need because you learned how to meet your own need. You were the person in your life who became the encourager for you. You were the person in your life who reparented themselves. You were the person in your life who now became a source of increase. That when you couldn't find anybody else, you're able to dig deep within the resource of your soul and strengthen you despite what you were going through. I'm showing you how to not just go through, but grow through in my Amazing Eagles Academies, where I'm coaching, I'm teaching, I'm training in the most transformative online community that you'll ever step into. I want you to step into it. I want you to knock down our digital doors, open up our digital doors, even right now by going to theeaglesacademy.com. Get strategic coaching, get insight, get the acumen on how to shift your ideas and income, your contacts and the contracts, right? How to increase your ideas, your impact, and your influence. Let me show you how to do that in our amazing community where you're going to be able to connect with gifted leaders locally, nationally, and globally. You don't know what type of friendships, relationships, business partnerships that will strike up and that will develop simply because you're in the right room with the right people who understand that a win for you is a win for them too. Come on, get in the room by going to theeaglesacademy.com. Sign up, register right now, tap the enroll now button, fill out the form. I guarantee you're going to be transformed. I know without a shadow of a doubt that you were transformed by this conversation. An encourager needs encouragement. It's about encouraging the encourager. So I would that you would send a love donation. We've had an encouraging conversation. Send a love donation to Cash App, $DR Eddie Ministries, on PayPal, info at EddieConnor.com, and then even on Zelle, EddieConnorJr at gmail.com. I appreciate your support. You giving helps me to give back in a greater way. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. That helps to grow the channel. I've been growing your greatness. Help me grow our channel for change, our channel that creates change, our channel that breaks chains. Yes. Also, type encouragement, type encourager, type encouragement, type encourager. If this resonated with you, I want you to know when you talk about encouraging the encourager, who's there for you? Well, I'm there for you. I'm here for you, which is why I continue to show up each and every single weekday, Monday through Friday. You can count on me to encourage you, to speak life into you, and tell you to keep on keeping on by any means necessary. Let me know what you thought about the show in the comments below. On your mark, get set, go. You know I got to go, but I want you to know it's yours truly, Dr. Eddie, your encourager, your main man, 100 grand, your brother. And I mean that from another mother. Family has been fun, but you know, brother got to run. So I want you to know it's been a privilege and a pleasure, a treat and a treasure, a joy beyond measure. But I want you, yes, you to remember to keep the faith and believe. It's going to be bigger, better, brighter, peace, and a whole lot of love. And a whole lot of love. That's right. Keep soaring higher.